Hello, we are Liz and Jamie.
And we live on a boat with a cat.
In the last episode, myself and my new crew saw out a Force 12 storm. Fish was the order of the day before heading to Koh Lipe, where I dropped off the crew. I'm now getting ready for a 90-mile solo sail. Well, that's it. I've dropped the kids off after a couple of fun days aboard. It was great fun having those guys on. They're very easygoing. They've all got a great sense of humour. They're willing to learn, and best of all, they love fishing, which is great. I have to say though, I found it very tiring. None of them are experienced at all, so all the responsibility's on me. I can't expect them to jump to in an emergency, so that kind of puts the pressure on a bit. So I'm a little bit mentally drained from it. That's not a reflection on them, that's just having people on board who aren't experienced at all. And then it's physically demanding as well. I mean, it was great having Dan to pull all the lines for me. He was very responsive and very quick, so that was all good. But I am physically knackered. I'm just really quite tired. Got this back problem, which makes me a bit nervous because it means that I can't handle some of the bigger sails. Like it's pulling the lines really. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I hear there is another heavy weather warning coming in 2 days' time. So that's something I've got to take into consideration. It's Sunday now. This is predicted for Tuesday. Phuket is 100 and something miles away. So one option is just to gun it. Basically just head up there, shoot up there in one go. Which I'm thinking about. The only problem with that is that I then am out of internet connection and cannot get any updates, specifically that satellite image, which is great because it shows you in real time what is actually happening. So the other option is to duck up through the islands, which sounds more sensible, but it might mean having to spend some days tied to a mooring in really shitty weather, and that actually makes me more nervous than anything else because moorings can break, and I didn't lay them, so I don't know how good they are. At least with my own anchor tackle, I know what I'm dealing with. So but I think the most important thing now, it's still early, it's only about 9 o'clock, is just have a lie down, just relax, have a cup of tea or something, cold drink, and just and then look at the chart and see what's best. And if I do decide to gun it, I may even leave tonight, but I've got to prepare the boat for solo sailing. It's a pretty easy boat to sail and to manage, but there's a few things we need to think about, like having lines and fenders and other tackle ready in case of emergency. Maybe preparing some food beforehand, just in case I get a bit tired and don't want to go down the galley. So I guess we'll just see. Should be interesting though. I haven't done this for years. Last time I solo sailed was probably 8 years ago, so it's been a while. Just been looking at the charts, and I think there's probably two options. I don't know if you can see this. We're here in Koh Lipe, and the first option is to head up to Koh Lanta, and that's only 55 miles away. So that's something that I could do during the day and do that quite comfortably. And at least in Koh Lanta, it's a lee shore in the southwest monsoon. There'll be good internet connection to get the weather forecast for the next day and check the radar. But the second option is just to go straight across from here up to here, which is Phuket, and that is 90 miles. So there's only 40 miles difference, So the second option is to maybe leave sometime in the middle of the night, just get out of the bootangs, which isn't too difficult at all. It's just getting around Rawi and Adang and going through here. Once I'm through here, that's it. Then I'm out in the clear, and there's literally only one set of rocks to look out for. So I'm kind of leaning towards that really. I'd like to be stopping off and taking lots of footage of lovely anchorages, but that squall the other night, it put the shits up me a bit, and it's a reminder of how nasty the weather can get. And if Liz was here, I'd be much happier stopping off at places and dealing with those squalls with her, but on my own, I'm not going to be a hero about it. I don't pretend to be the best sailor in the world, and I'll admit that those kind of things, they scare me. So I'm leaning towards just getting up to Phuket, to Ao Chalong, where it's a safe anchorage, restock and reprovision. Because then of course I've got to go up the side of Phuket, and that's an area I don't know at all. I haven't been to any of those anchorages in order to get to Yacht Haven. Again, that's probably something you could do in one run, but yeah, well, I'm going to take stock once I get up there. So those are two options, Lanta or Phuket, and that will dictate what time I get up to leave this anchorage. Fingernails, for some reason, always grow much more quickly in the heat. Something to do with vitamin D in the sun, I think, I'm not sure, but I'm forever cutting my fingernails. Which isn't so bad. The only problem is that when I cut them, I can't open my beer cans very easily, and on my boat, that's a disability. And toenails. I don't mean I open my cans of beer with my toenails, but yeah, one of those things, innit? By the way, I don't drink and sail. That's something I don't do. Not being judgmental. If people want to drink and sail, that's fine, but my problem is I don't have a handbrake, and when I have one beer, I tend to have 2 beers or 3 beers, or maybe even more than that. But when I'm sailing, I don't drink. The only time I've ever drunk is once on my birthday, my 40th birthday. We were going up Pirate Alley in past Yemen, and I remember the guys on Eeyore, Graham, Debs and Nigel, came alongside as we were motor sailing through the Gulf of Aden and sang happy birthday to me, which was very nice. So that's the one time I had a drink. I think the only other time was halfway across the Atlantic. We had a celebration, and halfway across the Arabian Sea, and it was literally 1 beer. So I know salty sea dogs, they're supposed to be, you know, drinking rum for breakfast on their cornflakes, but as I say, I'm just one of those people that likes to be in control, and when I've had a few beers, I'm not always in control. There we go. Do you want some? Right, 2:20 in the afternoon, getting a bit restless, a bit bored, so I think we're going to start making a move. Okay, so change over switch on 1 for engine. Oil's been checked, water topped up. So we've got 20 metres to go. We're in about 18 metres of water, so the chain's doing this, and we need to break the anchor so that we can lift up the remainder. So that means driving forward. There's just one problem. I left the chart plotter in the cockpit on night mode. I can't bloody see the screen. Okay, let's get out of here. So it's pretty straightforward, and got the mizzen and the main the staysail out. There's not much wind at all. It's probably about 4 knots true, so in a way that's quite good to start the journey nice and slow and safe, but also a bit frustrating because I want to be sailing. Now at the moment I'm doing less than 2,000 RPM on the engine, which is pretty low. We're still doing over 4 knots, so we're just going to take it nice and easy and see what the wind's doing once we pass the Butang Islands, which we're approaching now. So last time we left Lipe, we went that way over to the Butang Island, and this time we're going due north and through the middle of Rawi and Adang. So this is Adang, this is the big one. So we've cleared the Butangs pretty much. There's a bit of tide against us, and there's a bit of a swell as well, which is coming from the northwest. I imagine that's probably left over from the squall yesterday. But we're doing about 4.5, sometimes 5 knots, which is acceptable, I suppose. Well, there's still not a breath of wind apart from the wind that we're making ourselves. You can see the sea is pretty silky smooth. Earlier swell we had seems to have dropped slightly, and I've seen one boat apart from those 2 trawlers. That's it. Which is a good thing because it means that I've been going for 10-minute naps and feel quite rested actually. In fact, I feel better now than I did earlier. You can just see the sun setting over there. Maybe you can't. There's literally one cloud that's orange. And then ahead of me there's an object. I can't work out what it is, and I can't work out if it's actually a boat or not. But that's pretty much it. The Butangs are almost disappeared now, and it's a very serene, tranquil feeling to this, especially being on our own. Sadly not sailing, just motoring, but it's good. It's all good. Super bright lights of a squid boat there. That was the boat I said I could see earlier, and that was miles and miles ago. They're not moving, which is fortunate, or if they are, they're moving extremely slowly, maybe with the current. But they take a long while to pass. There's one on that side and one on this side. What really confused me was that the radar appeared to be showing something directly in front of me, but it remained at the same distance and appears to be an echo from Esper, but I'm not taking any chances here, apart from running around the boat trying to record this. I continue to motor through the night, avoiding fishing boats and even fishing traps which appear quite clearly on the radar. Remind me next time to use a spotlight when recording night footage. All I've got to show for 12 hours of darkness are some blurry lights on the horizon.
On the shoreline after sunset, watching seabirds soar, feet in the sand with my head in my hands, as luxury pushing us over. Harmony, nature's great sanctuary. Harmony, forever living.
7:30 in the morning, and we've made pretty good progress. Sun's now out. All the fishing boats have disappeared. There's hardly any. But it was a night of avoiding fishing boats, which was made easy by, well, first of all, the weather, of course, but secondly by our fantastic 4G radar, our B&G radar. And I was able to set guard zones on the radar with an alarm. And on the B&G system you can change the shape of those guard zones, which is very useful. It took a bit of experimenting with. I tried a 5-mile guard zone and had it going off with an alarm every time any boat entered into that 5-mile zone, and of course with the amount of fishing boats out here it just kept going off every 10 seconds. It was extremely annoying, so I dropped it down to about 1 mile, and I just had an arc rather than a circle. I just had an arc pointing forwards, and it worked well. So I was able to get good 10-minute power naps, and obviously used the alarm on that radar to wake me up and to check anytime anyone entered into that guard zone. It's really worked well, and I actually feel not too bad at all. I mean, I'm pretty knackered, but I think I could be feeling a lot worse. Of course, when the sun comes up, you instantly feel energized, and it gives you that boost. So any of those aches and pains and sleepiness that I was feeling, as you can see, as you can hear, I'm still pretty tired. I'm not articulating myself very well.
How long before it's gone? How long will anyone hear this song?
Just got a bit of a fright then. There's a warship coming around the corner there, and I'm motor sailing, and I increased the revs just to get in front of it. He's actually slowed down, stopped anyway, but I hit something. I don't know what it was. It was obviously something under the waterline, and I think it must have hit the prop. I felt an almighty thud and a shudder. Anyway, I've gone down and I've checked the shaft. It appears to be okay. Next thing I need to check is to have a look in the engine. But the problem now is, of course, is that I'm now in quite a busy area with the boats coming in and out of Chalong. Just a little bit disconcerting to both feel it and hear it. So yeah, as soon as I anchor up, I'm going to do a proper check and maybe even go underwater and have a look. Unfortunately, the visibility in Chalong is terrible, but yeah, fingers crossed. Fortunately, there was nothing amiss below the waterline, and there was plenty of space to anchor comfortably. It's good holding in Ao Chalong, and I know a few people there too. Right, anchor's down. Appears to be dug in. I've put it in astern quite hard. So, engine off. And normally what I do on the chart plotter is I mark exactly where we've anchored, just as a reference point in case it kicks up, and I try and work out if we're dragging or not. Okay, then I do a log entry just to mark where we've ended up, what time, the position in long and lat, and just to say that we've dropped anchor roughly where we are physically. And then the most important thing, the single most important thing after all of that, is this, and I learnt this off John of Barnacle Bill, who, no matter where we ended up at whatever time, be it an anchorage, a marina, a mooring, at 8 in the morning or 8 at night, his tradition was, once we'd done everything I just showed you, we crack open one of these, even if it's one and we go to sleep because we've been up all night. But that is the tradition that I have kept in honour of John. And this is the sound I want to hear. Cheers.
Randomly putting terminals on things and getting volt shocks. Thanks.
In the next episode, I recruit Aussie friend Brendan for a 24-hour visit to Phi Phi. There, we take in more squalls and some Thai boxing.
Don't follow any boat, follow the boat.
In case you missed that Force 12 squall, catch our previous episode here. If you're interested in the technical side of boat maintenance, then check out our complete boat refit playlist here. And if you're interested in supporting our videos, find out more about our Patreon campaign here. We'd love to have you on board.